Ready when you are, Tom.
All right, the time having arrived and a quorum being present, this meeting of the Cecil Township Reorganizational Meeting of 2024 is hereby called to order. Will you first please join us in a salute to our nation's flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
Thank you for that. First order of business, we need roll call vote. Carol?
Supervisor Izio?
Here.
Supervisor Barney?
Here,
Supervisor Fisher? Supervisor Schifoni?
Here.
Supervisor Cassiola?
Here. Next order of business, we need a motion for chairman.
I make that motion to nominate Tom Cassiola for chairman of Cecil Township Board of Supervisors.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote. Carol?
Supervisor Gizio?
Aye.
Supervisor Barney?
aye.
Supervisor Fisher? Aye. Supervisor Schifoni?
Aye.
Supervisor Cassiola?
Aye. The motion carries. We need a motion for vice chairman.
I'll make that motion. Frank Agizio for vice chair for Cecil Township Board of Supervisors.
Is there a second?
I'll
I second it. Roll call vote. Carol?
Supervisor Gizio?
Aye.
Supervisor Barney?
Aye.
Supervisor Fisher? Aye. Supervisor Schifoni?
Aye.
Supervisor Cassiola?
Aye. The motion carries. All the next motions will be just by general consent. For secretary treasurer, I move for Dawn Januso.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. For depository, it would be Washington Financial Bank, Pliget, the State Association, and then Slovenian Savings. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For our SUJA enforcement officer, it would be the Washington County Sanitation Council. I make a motion to that effect?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. Animal Control Officer is Kim Secret. I make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For Emergency Management Coordinator, I move for Ed Poverk.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For a solicitor, it's Gretchen Moore and her firm.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. For Township Engineer, it's Gateway Engineers with Dan Dizer is our rep.
So moved.
And I'll second that. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For Zoning Officer is Liz Ross. I move to that effect.
Second.
Seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Our Zoning Hearing Board meeting money is I move to be set at $100 per meeting. Is there a second?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. For Resolution 1-2024, our real estate tax collector is Nancy Leonard. I move to that effect. Is there a?
I'll second.
It's been seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
If anybody's opposed, make sure you speak up. So the motion carries. For Resolution 2-2024, our earned income tax collector is Keystone. Move to that effect. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For Resolution 3-2024, our LST tax collector is Keystone. I moved for Keystone. Is there a
Second.
second? It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For Resolution 4-2024, our delinquent LST and delinquent EIT tax collector also is Keystone. I move.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries. For Resolution 5-2024, our realty transfer tax collector as Carrie Perrell. So moved. Is it
Second.
seconded? It's been moved and seconded. Those,
Aye.
wait, do I have something? Is that good? It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For Resolution number 6-2024, it will set the realty tax collector bond at 30% of the tax duplicate for the year 2023. So moved. Is it seconded?
Second.
There's a second. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For Resolution number 7-2024, for municipal authority members, is there a resolution, a motion?
I make a motion to nominate Brad Smith to Municipal Authority Board.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Did I hear 5? 4? I need more than a nod.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the motion carries. For our Resolution 8-2024, for the zoning hearing board member,
I make a motion to nominate Troy Gump to the Zoning Hearing Board.
I'll second it.
it's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. For our zoning hearing board alternate member, we have a motion.
I make a motion to nominate Bob Vaughn.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signified by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. For Resolution 9-2024, unless board members have any names, Jack didn't have any names for us yet. Anybody have any names to put forth? If not, we will readdress this in February. For our Resolution 10, 2024, for our certified public accountant firm, it's Hosack et al. That's Beck, Mutual, and Wood. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. For Resolution 11, 2024, for a representative to the Frank Saris Public Library, we have 2 vacancies.
I make a motion to nominate Andrea Raymer to the Frank Saris Public Library Board.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. We need a second name.
I make a motion to nominate Sandy Belfier to the Frank Saris Public Library Board.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. For Resolution 12-2024, our Chief Administrative Officer for Pensions, I move for it to be Don Januso. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. For Resolution number 13-2024, the non-uniform pension fund at 3% of their gross salary towards the non-uniform pension fund, which is the same as in the year 2023. I move to that.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Resolution number 14-2024, the police pension plan at 5% of their gross salary toward the police pension plan, which is also the same as the year 2023. I move to that effect.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For resolution number 15-2024, for our vacancy board member,
I make a motion to nominate Barbara Hamilton as a vacancy board member.
it's been moved.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No.
Did I hear one no?
Yeah, me.
The motion carries 4-1. For resolution number 16-2024, we are to establish the dates for the Board of Supervisors' monthly meetings as the first Monday of the month at 7 p.m. I'll move to that. Is there a second? It's been seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. For resolution 17-2024, for the pay period, every other Thursday for all full-time employees. The benefits will remain the same as in 2023, except were amended by contract. Administrative employees will contribute 1.5% of their gross pay towards their health care plan.
So moved.
Moved
I'll second.
and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. For Resolution 18-2024, we need to certify delegates to the State Association, which will be held April 14th to the 17th at Hershey. Any
I might want to
interested?
go this year. Dawn, will you go too?
Dawn G. Then, is there a motion to approve Cindy Fisher and Dawn Januso to attend?
So moved.
Does any other supervisors plan on attending? Would you be interested, Bill?
Yeah, I've never been to it before.
It's a good thing. If you can make it, we'll put your name on it, then you'll be authorized,
Okay.
hopefully you'll have a chance to go. We'll add Bill Schifani's name to that. It's already been moved, right?
Yeah.
Is it
So-
seconded?
It's okay, you can just add it, just redo it.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. For resolution number 19-2024, the voting delegate can only be one. I think Cindy Fisher is the supervisor, so I think we should name Cindy Fisher as the voting delegate.
He can do it, I don't care, it doesn't.
Well, I mean, you're going for sure, but he might not go. He said he's going to try to go.
I'll second.
Make Dawn the voting delegate, and then Bill and I, if we can make it.
Don, you got to
authorize
go
him.
along with what they want there.
I'm not worried about it.
All right, so move motion for Dawn Januso as the voting delegate.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And just one item was left off, and it's just an administrative thing for resolution number 2024 for a planning commission member. Since Troy Gump was moved up to the municipal, or to the zoning hearing board, we have a motion to replace his term or finish his expired term to 2027.
Can't do that. You can't, because there's an advertising requirement of
It's an
24 hours.
administrative thing, though, an appointment today.
So it's already a place, something just happened at the last minute.
No, there was a plan. They knew that they were going to move him.
Well, I mean, he was moved just today.
Yeah, I think the planning commission can wait a month. You have to have advertisement and let people know there's an opening, and it needs to be advertised properly, because there
Even
was
if it's
just
just an
this.
administrative thing?
Not if you maybe, if it was some kind of emergency and he left, you had to get someone.
Okay,
in.
all right.
If it was a known thing and it's just transition and it wasn't.
Okay, all right.
And people aren't aware that
We can table that. All right, for the reorganizational meeting, there is no other business, so this meeting is declared adjourned. We do plan on going right into our regularly scheduled January meeting.
Thanks.
Everybody ready? All right, we can dispense to the salute to the nation's flag. We had just done that. Carol, roll call vote, please, for the supervisors.
Supervisor Gizio,
Here.
Supervisor Barney,
Here.
Supervisor Fisher,
Here.
Supervisor Schifoni,
Here.
Supervisor Cassiola,
Here, in addition, Township Manager Donald Januso, Assistant Township Manager and Director of Planning Jack King, Chief of Police Sean Bakovinsky, Director of Public Works Bill Bottorff, Southbridge EMS Director Dan Miller, our Interim Fire Chief Ted Wolford, and our Township Engineer Dan Dazaroth, and our Township Solicitor Gretchen Moore are in attendance. All right, at this time, we will take citizens' comments on items you see on the agenda. It's a long agenda. There's about 30 items. Anybody have any comments or questions specifically on the agenda? All right, we're going to go on. There are some announcements. You can read those. We will have we're here for that. Okay, we're just going to go on. We added something here. I know residents have in the past asked about reports, and I think they enjoyed some of the reports and the insights some of our professionals and our staff gave us, so we're going to just try to institute that for a while. So, Don, you have any reports you can give the residents and the supervisors?
Mr. Chair, the only thing I have of any noteworthiness is I'll be continuing working with John Koski regarding the AML-AMD grant for the property formerly known as ABB. I continue to work with John and the DEP for the administration of that grant.
How long is he?
We have to solicit proposals from engineering firms for the design work.
All right. And all the cost is on. You know that.
All the costs will be covered by that grant, right. Other than that, just the annual filings, I'll be busy this month with those.
All right, thank you. Sean, police report?
Yes, good evening, everybody. And I just want to start off, we had 7,190 calls, and that's actual calls the officers were responding to. Out of those calls, we had 221 cases where officers actually investigated cases. A few things, I just want to briefly talk about the traffic lights in South Point. So if anybody drove on South Point, probably the past couple of months, there was concerns about the traffic lights, the side streets, the lights not recognizing vehicles. We got the right service out there and they corrected the problem, so we have not had any complaints since then. And some good information, on December 16th, we assisted the National Cemetery with Wreaths Across America. It was a very nice day, and we probably had triple the amount of volunteers, which caused a traffic nightmare for us. The police department, the fire departments did their best to assist with traffic control, but it did work out. There was a lot of people out there helping, and it was a good thing to be involved in.
Sean, wait, so all the traffic and all the people were just volunteers that were helping, not just visitors? Huh?
Visitors, but mostly volunteers. We had buses that actually transported people there to help with parking and, of course, the traffic problems. But I'm working with the chief for the VA police. We're going to try to make sure we have a plan next year if it's nice again, because again, we want to make sure everybody gets to the cemetery and helps out with, you know, the wreaths and everything like that. So, and then the other thing is, on December 9th, we had our 8th annual Shop with a Cop up in Washington. We shopped at Walmart with 15 students from Canon Mac. And again, if no one knows, Ken McMillan does a good job picking the students and the families, and the officers volunteer their time, and we go up and shop with the children. And sometimes it's maybe a financial situation for the family, but then there might be a tragedy in their life. Maybe a parent has an illness or something, but it went very well, and we're proud of that. So other than that, I don't have anything else.
Thank our officers for that also, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jack, anything interesting with the?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chairman. Two things of, sorry. Two things of note. We have the unique opportunity to welcome. They have their iPhone on. It's killing me. A unique opportunity to welcome pickleball to Cecil Township with respect to item number, let's see, 24 and 25, of which you're going to be probably setting a conditional use hearing. The gentleman that is actually in charge of this is also the editor-in-chief of the National Pickleball Magazine. I think it's going to give Cecil Township, Lawrence, surrounding areas a lot of notoriety. It's been in the works for a while, but I think it's going to be just a lot of fun, I think, for a lot of people, and it's really going to put us on the map. As far as, that would be zoning coming up. As far as planning Commission has worked through the MUC and the MUR definitions, and I believe that's moving on to you this month as well. One thing I do want to mention about Parks and Recreation, if you don't mind, had a great year last year. We're in the planning process for all the events this year. As many of you heard, we do need 2 more board members, so if you're interested, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. So let me know if you're interested. Thank you.
Jack, were you saying that it requires a zoning change for the pickleball? Because you were saying it's,
Yeah.
Conditional use?
but he said it's not a zoning issue, it's just,
No, it's a use by right. Indoor recreation is a use by right in the I-1 district.
Right.
But it's not a use by right, it's a conditional use within the I-1 district, so it needs a conditional use here.
I understand that, but he said it's zoning, so I thought he was saying they were coming to ask for a zoning change as well. So it's not really a
No, I'm
zoning,
sorry,
it's
yeah.
not really a zoning issue. Okay, I just want to clarify, sorry.
All right, thank you, Jack. Bill, anything interesting? Just good things.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're currently in winter operations mode, and I know this meeting's being streamed, so hopefully the word gets out. If you have a basketball court road on the adjacent road shoulder or in a cul-de-sac, we'd like you to please remove that so that we're not impacting that with our truck mirrors. During winter operations, we take the opportunity to do roadside maintenance, winter knockdown, stuff like that, remove that, and do any type of safety improvements, address safety issues along the edge of the road, and basically just clean things up and clear drainage swells from the winter relief. That's it. Thank you.
Bill. Dan, you have anything besides what you have to report on as the resolutions come up?
Sure, just a couple of quick items. The overlook at South Point, Phase 4, has been requesting their final closeout on their maintenance bond. We're still awaiting DEP approval of the stormwater ponds to be done before we bring that to your attention. That might be coming next month. The Silver Creek land development, you've seen a lot of that last year. They're talking to Paul Scarmazzi about taking some of the lots within that plan, so they may be coming back to the board for a consideration of an adjustment to the PRD for a minor adjustment to the front building line setback for some of the lots. We've not seen anything on that yet. In addition to what Jack mentioned on the zoning items being reported or being approved by the Planning Commission. They also did recommend a text change to the Interstate Highway Planned Development Overlay District to remove residential from the west side of Morganza Road, that being on the Interstate Highway side of the development. So we'll be getting that back in front of the Planning Commission, that text change, and then bringing it to the board. I think that's going to require a hearing to go over that, but that's in the works. Then the Montour Trail connection, we're working with DCNR to final out that project. They did their final inspection. We've got a couple things to get Stuart to take care of before we final that one out. And then finally, north to Poly Road, the application for the grant, we were not successful in the Small Sorn Water Authority grant, so I believe Bill has that on the completion schedule for next paving season to be bid and to complete the work from where Range Resources left off all the way down to Route 50. So we'll get that going early on. I think that's it, Mr. Chairman, other than items on the agenda.
Dan, can you clarify for the residents how much time it will take to do that extra north to Poly work? I know we've said it, but just while we're at the meeting.
Yeah,
if you
we'll
had to
strategically set that up, but without the stormwater work that's involved, it's just going to be normal rotomilling and paving, which we're not going to close the road down, other than just short-term closures for paving operations. So there'll be no permanent closure.
Thank you. That's what I just wanted to make clear.
Thank you, Dan. Gretchen, Solicitor's Report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Currently, there are only 2 cases in active litigation. So we have the First Choice West End matter, which is before the Commonwealth Court. And we also recently received a land use appeal in the Toward conditional use matter, which was denied by this board about a month and a half ago. So I'll be responding to that. Other than that, it was a fairly quiet month in December, which is great news for the township. I assist the township manager as needed. I work with the zoning officer whenever there is some ordinance interpretation that's needed, as well as working with the township engineer on day-to-day legal. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Gretchen. Our fire department report?
Yeah, in the month of November, we had 65 fire responses. 19 of those were emergency medical related, 46 were fire related. 5 of those responses were outside of the township, assisting other municipalities. There were no calls that overlapped, meaning calls that happened at the same time, so that was a good thing. November 7th, Lawrence had responded to a brush fire at Morganza and Georgetown Road. The cause of that fire was from electrical wires that fell into some brush and caused the woods to catch fire. They were assisted by Cecil number 3 and Cecil number 2, as well as North Strabane Fire Department to extinguish that fire. Another notable call was November 26th. Cecil number 3 responded to a fire alarm. When one of the chiefs had arrived, he had a smoke condition in the house, and he noted that a pet had knocked one of the towels on the oven into the oven that caught fire. So just want to remind residents, just because the woods are on fire, there might be a power line down. Your safety is the most important, so try to stay away from those things. And while you're cooking for the holidays, please pay attention to all the hazards that are around your oven and your cooking appliances. Thank you.
Thank you. Dan, EMS report?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In 2023, EMS responded to 1,502 calls within the township. 1,362 of those calls were for patient care-related items, and 140 were for standby events or fire standbys to assist the fire department. In December, we had 2 cardiac arrest saves, which, contrary to what the TV will tell you, in TV shows, they don't happen that often. So that's something that really, we appreciate. We appreciate the police and the fire department working with us. They're pretty labor-intensive calls when somebody has a cardiac arrest. And on that note, CPR saves. So, we offer CPR courses to the community, and the public, we would really promote that within the community to save a life. So
How do you advertise that or put it out about CPR courses that the residents might want to take?
So that's on our website. We usually post them periodically. We have a public education calendar that they can sign up on. And if anybody wants to promote one within the community, we can do groups.
We tried to host one here in end of October?
End of, yeah.
And nobody signed up. I'd be willing to sponsor it again with you, Dan, if you want to, but maybe we could advertise it more. Get a little more, maybe do it in like February or March, give people a little more time, and maybe not on a weekend night. I don't know. I don't know when to do it so that we get people here, but it's a good thing to do.
We can work on that.
Okay, I'd be willing to do that with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Discussion items, Dan, on the Public Works facility?
So just, we gave the board a presentation
Wait,
last.
Dan, I want to make sure everybody can hear.
Sorry.
See-
Jack's
see
got the microphone,
working.
he's hiding it from me. Okay. On the Public Works facility, there were a number of things that we discussed last month or brought to the board's attention relative to items that needed action for the Public Works facility that are on your agenda tonight. But work continues to progress in a great manner up there. The building is 100% shell is complete, and they're working on the interior work now. Exterior doors and windows are installed, and some additional paving's been completed. That's just under the general contractor. S.E. Schultz has completed about 35% of the electric. The plumbing is ongoing and is about 85% complete. The fire systems are about 90% complete, the overhead sprinkler work. And then there is about 50% of the HVAC work that's been completed. The fuel tanks have arrived on site, and the construction of the fuel station has begun. So basically tonight, we're on your agenda, we're recommending a change order on the site contract to Stewart Contracting for site work on the borrow area that was done to address the pyretic material on the site. We're also recommending some change orders necessary to accommodate the fire pump room in the building through the general contractor, the electrical contractor, and the HVAC contractor. We're also recommending proceeding with some documents to move ahead with both the remaining paving at the site, the Klinger Road improvements, and the work on the salt storage facility that was obtained through the grant of over $500,000 to complete that work. And then there's a number of payments on the agenda tonight that are related to progress payments that are due to the contractors on the project. Any questions?
Next is the McCardle Trails Road acceptance.
Yeah, the McConnell Trails, I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention. There's actually the improvements that were completed, the Burnside Road. There's actually an easement that was obtained by the developer for that work where we expanded Burnside Roads. Specifically, all they're doing is dedicating that easement or assigning it to the township. Pretty simple, just a graphic of that. There's a little picture here of what's going on. It's not a very large area. It's only 930 square feet, but it is necessary to accommodate that bump out that was completed in the road. So that's on your agenda. In addition to that, okay, any questions on that one? The next one is Coomer Road. There was a meeting out in the field where we discussed a better way to handle Coomer Road. Bill's already done some preliminary work to get the guide rail installed and close off the entrance to Coomer Road. as you know, that was used for a long time. There was a landslide there. The cost of the repair would be overwhelming. We're proposing to modify the intersection of Coomer and Burnside to sort of coordinate with what happened on this side. We've accomplished that through some additional grading that we would need to accomplish and go on to the Zemeski property. So I just wanted to show this to the board. This is about a $220,000 expenditure that I understand the board might want to consider in capital this year. If you do, we can proceed to try to obtain the easement from Mr. Zemeski, and then this project could be bid as a standalone capital project, which I would probably recommend. I just throw it up for comments, or we did a meeting in the field with Bill and I and Solicitor or Supervisor Cassiola and Supervisor Aguizio to look at it. So I think it accomplishes what we want to do. The main purpose here is if you're leaving Muse headed towards Burnside Road and Coomer Road, at the Burnside Road, Coomer Road intersection, we'd be widening that to accommodate not every vehicle, but larger vehicles that would want to make that turn. Not 18-wheelers, but we would be able to accomplish, at least for your typical bigger trucks that would be wanting to make that turn. So that's the purpose of this improvement. Move on to the next one. The next item is Walnut Street. This is another capital project. This project was reviewed as the board wanted us to do. It's a culvert replacement that's necessary in Muse. It's about a 9-foot by 9-foot span that rises about 3 foot 3 inches. The problem there is we have to put in sort of a specialized aluminum arch to accommodate the water that has to pass under that area. Right now, I was trying to call up the inspection report to at least show the board the reason for the project. So you can at least see in the pictures here, I hope you can see it, but this is a big deflection in the current arch that exists there right now. Whether that was due to backfill or what other issues. It's got some rips and tears in it, and it is in need of replacement. So the good news is it's a short span. It's not really a bridge per se by PennDOT standards. And if the board wants to proceed with this, it will require a DEP general permit, and it'll take a few months to get that. So if it's the board's desire to complete this project during the year, it would be advisable to instruct the engineer to go ahead and obtain that permit.
May I just add one further thing to this? The downstream wing wall has been impacted, and it's currently in a leaning position, and who knows when it may fail. So I would strongly suggest that we move forward with this Walnut Street drainage structure. And basically, that's what it is, a drainage structure. So, all right, thank you.
Does the board have any issues or directive to Dan?
Yeah,
Have him go ahead.
sure. I've discussed this with Dan, looked at the pictures of this, and there was a bad accident there about a month ago, and I believe there was some damage done to the parapet side wing walls to that. I think as I've discussed this with Dan, he needs to get the authorization to go ahead and obtain the permits. But I like Dan's idea of not letting the contractor demo the bridge until we know that the new bridge is on site or being delivered to us. It's going to impact, obviously, the traffic in Muse because the detour route, residents would have to go up School Street, make a left-hand turn onto Cherry Way, and run that alley in the back of Locust to the alley up in the back of Maple Street to get back down onto Maple Street. So, Dan, you think in a perfect world, a contractor can maybe do this in 30 days? If we say give them 45 days, but don't allow them to proceed with demo until we get the new structure there.
Right. As soon as we could get the permit, or we know the permit is coming, I would recommend getting it to bid, getting a contractor in, and then paying them upfront to, at least for the material, once they give us a purchase order, to order the pipe, have it delivered, and we would say you can't start work until the material is readily available. And yes, I think it could be done in about a month. It's not a long span.
But Dan, this is a discussion item, and it's not a voting item on the agenda, so we can't take any formal action on this tonight.
We don't need formal action. An administrative thing, we can authorize you to start that.
Yeah, the only authorization asked for was not to go to bid, just to get the permit.
Or add it as an agenda item
Yeah.
to give him authorization.
So there's a new law as of November 2023, you can't.
Right, so the Commonwealth Court came down and kind of interpreted.
Gretchen, I don't think anybody can hear you.
The Commonwealth Court came down and interpreted, can everyone hear me? It doesn't sound very loud. Interpreted the act differently than how everyone was utilizing it. So it's a pretty high standard. You have to meet some of the other criteria, like an emergency or some other criteria to put something on the agenda last minute like that. But this could certainly go on the agenda in the future, next month or something like that. And if you want to, have Dan get started on
I'm not
permitting, that's fine.
opposed to the work, but I just don't want to get us in trouble as far, if we're getting the permits, doesn't that mean we're moving forward with the work?
No. No, it's a whole separate bid.
So I would think, given the current condition of that downstream wing wall, that you could declare this an emergency condition, but it needs to be addressed.
We're not even trying to award any bids. We
No,
just want to
no.
get him to get
Just
started on
move
a
forward with
permit.
the permit application, because it's ready to fill, and it takes some time to get that through the DEP, so.
Is the board okay with Dan going ahead with starting the process for the permit
I
itself?
want Gretchen to say we're okay with doing that. If Gretchen says that we're okay to take that action, that's fine, but I think that it should have been an agenda item. You clearly knew this was an issue. It was a discussion item.
Right, so obviously being on the agenda is the best case scenario, but I would say put it on the agenda in February. And if you want Dan just to get started with the process, that's not going to expend a lot of funds, right?
No.
You're just going to put some applications in.
No, the board
That's
wouldn't.
fine, but I would have it on the agenda for February as a voting item to actually bid out and start the work.
That's good to know. I wasn't aware of that change, or we wouldn't have had it on the agenda.
Anything that we need to take an action on can't be a discussion item. It needs to be an agenda item.
Okay.
Right, the emergencies now are just the real or potential emergencies, something that was just brought it to the attention of the board within 24 hours before the meeting, or something brought by a resident or taxpayer to be considered for purposes of referring it to staff. That's a more administrative one. But it's those first two that arguably it sometimes could fit into, but that's it for the exceptions now.
All right, but you
Got
can
it.
still get started on the process.
Yes. I think
that it?
that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Dan. We're going to get going with the resolutions. Item number 20-2024, it's consider the application number 2023-0011 for the Gerber Collision Site Plan, contingent upon adjusting items from Dan's engineering letter. Dan?
Yeah, is there anybody here to represent this plan tonight? Okay. I want to do that. Okay, this through the board, so. Okay, we'll try something different. So this is property that's located along Mayview Road. Right across the street is the Hills Elementary School. This is Rushmore Floor on this side. I'm not sure what the current occupant is of this building, but it's being retrofitted for Gerber, which is a collision center. They've come up with a site plan on the project. Let me get to the right plan. Their plan is to install some parking in the rear, do stormwater management. This would be the place where their vehicles are actually stored in terms of what they're doing. The I-1 district allows for a collision center. This has been back and forth with the Planning Commission for a number of different months. It was recommended for approval. So I can answer any questions, hopefully that, given they're not here tonight.
Any questions? Is there a motion to approve the site plan?
So moved.
It's been moved
I'll second it.
and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For Resolution 21-2024, consider the application number 2023-0038 for the Hiram subdivision plan, number 1, also contingent on addressing comments from the township engineer. That's in a R1 residential district on Gladden Road. Dan?
Yeah, this, I think, Carrie, you here on this one? Anything that you can add to it while I'm opening up the plan? So,
Dan, while you're pulling this up, Mr. Chairman, I would ask that you read the agenda as it states. Not everybody at home or watching this is going to sit with the agenda in front of them, so when you half read a motion, they may not know what it says.
The description isn't part of the motion. I'm looking for the motion first. Dan will describe that. He said he will.
Can you, in the future, just read it?
yes, so this is a simple lot line revision between two properties. This is the current property line between the two. And as my arrow is going here, they're just making an adjustment in this direction to modify the two lots. Again, as was stated, it's located along Gladden Road. The Planning Commission reviewed the plan. They've addressed all our comments, so technically the plan is in order for you guys to consider it.
Is there any questions on that plan from the board?
It didn't describe. Can you read the address and the description?
I did say that. On 50 Gladden Road. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
It's been moved, seconded.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. For our Resolution 22-2024, it's for consider application number 2023-0039 for the Matic subdivision, contingent upon addressing comments from the township engineer. It's in a R1 zoning district along 349 Grange Road. Dan?
Sure. Yeah, I'm calling up the plan here now. Yeah, so this, Harry, you want to come up and help me with this one a little bit? So this is the Omatic property. I believe this is, which road is this here? Is that
Our screens aren't up, that's why we're also turning around looking
here.
what
Next
you're
month.
looking at.
Next month I'm buying a new computer. Okay.
Oh, you got a screen frame.
Yeah, sorry about that. We'll get it fixed. This is Profrio Road here, and this along this direction is in this Grange, yeah, Profrio and Grange. I'm sorry. This is the existing trailers that bound the property. The purpose of this plan is to create a new lot around the existing home. They're basically dividing the property up into Lot 1, which is 22 acres, and the remaining portion, which is Lot 2, which is 15 acres. There is a note on the plan for the area that is zoned R4 trailer park. There are currently 4 occupied mobile homes. Once the current occupants of these mobile homes vacate the premises, they cannot be reoccupied until such time as approved public sanitary sewers are installed and approved by the Cecil Township Municipal Authority in the township. So The hangup on this was the sewage. We do have a correspondence from the Washington County Sewage Council that states that this plan can be approved, in their opinion, without any further sewage planning, with this note to be added to the plan. So other than that, Mr. Carey here has addressed all the other technical comments that I had, and we can answer any questions if you have.
Any questions for the engineer or Dan? Do we have a motion to approve the application?
So moved.
It's been moved.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Aye.
For number 23-2024, consider the application of number 2023-0040 for the Muse Elementary Playground Site Plan, contingent upon addressing the comments of the Township Engineer. It is for the Cannon McMillan School District on 40 Muse School Road. Dan?
Yes. So this is a new play facility for at the Muse Elementary School. To orient everybody, this is School Street with access into the school. As you come up, the parking lots exist, and as you come to the rear and turn in behind the school, they're proposing to install a new play area. This is the play area here on the big plan. If you moved on to this location on the map, they're just proposing to install. They're just proposing to install a. Okay. Yeah, they're just looking to install a play area in this location that will be fenced. It's being constructed with AstroTurf, from what I understand. Is there anybody here from the school district? This area was supposed to be parking before, and it is, at this point in time, it's going to be utilized for the play area. So they had accounted for stormwater management. We made them go through a process. The big stormwater management basin is located to this side of the school building where my cursor is up here. They actually went out and as-built the stormwater facility, and they provided an analysis to show that the pond is functioning as it should, and the release rates are what they should be. So I was satisfied as long as they had the stormwater management. There's really no other regulations that we were concerned about other than that. They meet the parking that's required now without this additional parking. So that's it. If there's any questions.
Board members, any? So do we have a motion to approve the Muse Elementary Playground Site Plan?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. For 24-2024, it's to consider the application number 2023-0041 for the Level Up subdivision plan, contingent upon addressing the comments made by the township engineers. It's a Level Up, it's the Pickleball LLC, located on Mayview Road.
Yeah, this is the plan. There's a current building at this location. The plan for the pickleball facility is to subdivide off this L-shaped lot that's outlined in red. The existing structure would meet all the setback requirements for the district and the area requirements and everything else. So the subdivision plan as it stands is in order for consideration. All the technical comments have been addressed. So they plan to build the indoor facility on this lot, which is the subject of the conditional use.
Any other questions for Dan?
Yes, I have a question if he can hear me.
Is this right on Mayview Road, not too far from the elementary school?
Yes, it is. It's right across the street from the elementary school.
It's across the street.
Yes. Very
Is that
close,
what you-
very close.
is that what you said,
Very
Dan?
close proximity, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there was some, Darlene, there was some discussion at the planning commission meeting related to traffic. What we advised them to, if the board decides to, or when the board has its public hearing, they're gonna come prepared to discuss traffic. The owner wasn't available to be at the planning commission that night, but we understand that the hours of operation of this and when they will be busiest will not coincide. So we told them to come back with that information and discuss hours of operation and expected use of the facility when they come for the hearing.
Okay, I have an idea where it's at. I just pulled it up on my iPhone to see exactly on Mayview Road where it's at.
Okay, any other questions? This motion here is just for the subdivision plan. And then we'll get to the setting a conditional use hearing in the next item. But is there a motion to approve the
I'll
subdivision?
make that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. Then for number 25, 2024, we need to set a public hearing date for the conditional use application for that level of pickleball company as we just spoke of. And it's not going to be a controversial thing, I don't think. I think we can do it at 6 o'clock, an hour before our next public meeting.
Get it done. I say do it next week.
But it's just going to be an hour instead of coming for a special meeting. Anybody else have a problem with having it at 6 o'clock at the next meeting? That's February 1st, right?
February 5th.
February 5th.
I don't have a problem with it, but why make them wait?
So what date we going to have?
Available anytime. I'm good anytime.
I say do it next week. Like, why make them wait? So, I don't know, any days.
Because I think it's just going to be a 5-minute hearing.
Y'all live in the township. That's fine. Monday or Tuesday. Is Tuesday better for you?
Minimum of about a week and a half for advertising. Like if you got something in this week and then next week, then could be the following week. That's the earliest you could do it.
Okay, so what if we do it the week of January 15th, 16th? Do Tuesday? Tuesday? Okay, Tuesday the 16th. Does that work, Frank?
Yeah.
Tuesday, January 16th?
15th or 16th, did we say?
It says Tuesday, January 16th.
I still won't be home on the 15th or the 16th. I'm coming home on the 19th.
Of January?
Yes, of January.
What?
Well, then, by then, we're almost at the February meeting.
Well, we
Why
can
have a
do it.
special
I mean,
meeting?
if it's only a 5-minute meeting, why don't we have it at, don't they have their meetings earlier? What time are the CTMA meetings?
6:30.
So we'll
6:30
have it
CTMA.
at 7:30. And if we need to bump into there or whatever, we can. I just hate to, this is something the township, or the town of Lawrence has been looking forward to for a long time. I hate to make it wait. We can make a place.
Dan, how soon can they get started on that if the subdivision gets recorded?
Well, they still have to come back in. You're working on the project. Yeah. Come on.
Is it imperative that it be approved before our next meeting?
The next meeting would be better for us because we still have to get the traffic study and so forth done.
Okay, that's fine then.
All right, then, 6 o'clock before our February 5th meeting? Is everybody okay with that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You
On
have,
February 5th,
what?
next meeting.
Yes, Darlene.
Okay.
Richard said we have a written waiver for that date, or to work till that date. All right, for item 27-2024, it's consider accepting the assignment of that easement of that portion of a Burnside Road that Dan described earlier.
Tom, I think you missed, did you miss one? The Campbell?
Oh, I did, yes, you did. You're right. Number 26-2024, consider application 2023-027 for the Campbell Consolidation Plan. It's along 490 Cecil Hendersonville Road in a medium-density zoning district.
Yeah, this is just a reapproval of a plan located up off of Cecil Hendersonville Road, just to create one large lot. This was already approved. It's just here for reapproval purposes because the date for recording ran out. So you've already acted on this one before. It's just a reapproval.
Is there a motion to approve it? Reapproval?
So moved.
It's been moved
I'll second.
and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For 27-2024, it's to consider accepting the assignment of the easement of that portion of Burnside Road that Dan described earlier. Are there any other questions for Dan on that assignment? Is there a motion to approve that assignment?
Wait, what?
Is there a motion to approve the assignment of that easement on Burnside Road?
I'll make that motion.
It's been moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries.
You're missing out on information that the residents may want to know. Like saying that this item finalizes the improvements installed at the intersection of
Yeah,
Burnside Road.
Dan described all that. He just went over that. All right. Item number 28-2024, consider acceptance of the public improvements within the right-of-ways of Phase 1 of the McConnell Trails, including Black Oak Lane, Prudence Lane, and a portion of Francis Lane. These roads will now, if we approve it, will become a part of the township road system and be maintained by the township.
Yeah, and that's contingent upon posting the required maintenance bond. I spoke to Andy Hutchinson today. He said that it's like what comes first, the resolution has to come first, and then the bond, once the bank has the resolution, they'll provide the bond. So
You agree with that, Dan?
I'm sorry?
Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, I
That's
do.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Then the motion would be for 28-2024, consider the acceptance of the public improvements within the right-of-ways of Phase 1 of the McConnell Trails, including Black Oak Lane, Prudence Lane, and a portion of Francis Lane, with the condition that the
Maintenance bond be
maintenance
required.
bonds will be posted.
Yes.
Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion
Aye.
carries. For number 29-2024, it's consider the release of financial security in the Windsor Plans Woods Phase 6B in the amount of $30,000. These funds were to guarantee work on lots in the detention pond, which have now been completed.
Yeah, I could give the board more of a formal report on this, but if you recall, these were some of the lots up on St. James Drive that had drainage issues in the rear yard. The developer, I'll give him a lot of credit. Dan Ryan Holmes didn't do the work. He went back and did it himself. He sodded the ditches in the backyard. He also got his NOT from the Conservation District. The pond has been approved up there by the Conservation District. So this is the release of that $30,000 that he put up to guarantee those items.
Good. Is there a motion
My
to
recommendation.
So
approve
moved.
the release?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. For number 30-2024, consider application for payment number 2 for the work completed to date for Contract A of the 2023 pavement maintenance program to Youngblood Paving in the amount of $267,190.87.
So moved.
It's been moved
I'll second.
and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For number 31-2024, consider ratifying application for payment number 2 for the work completed to date for the North DePauli Road retaining wall and grading project by Sluice Shark Excavating in amount of $61,816.95.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded.
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. For number 32-2024, consider application for payment number 3 for the work completed to date for North DePauli Road retaining wall and grading project to the same Sluice Excavating in the amount of $73,722.15.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded.
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The motion carries. For number 33-2024, consider application for payment number 10 for the work completed to date for the Cecil Township Public Works Facilities, the general construction project in the amount of $129,189.73 to Yule Construction Company.
So moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Well, she didn't vote.
Darlene, did you vote on the past?
No.
Okay, record the vote, Carol, 4-1. The motion carries. For number 34-2024, consider application for payment number 8 for the work completed to date for the Cecil Township Public Works Facility, the electrical project in the amount of $79,939.57 to SC Schultz Electric.
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved
Second.
and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Carol, record the vote as 4-1. The motion carries. Number 35-2024, consider application for payment number 4 for the work completed to date for the Cecil Township Public Works Facility mechanical construction project in the amount of $124,695 to East West Manufacturing and Supply Company, Inc. So, is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Carol, 4-1, the motion carries. We're almost done. Item number 36-2024, consider a change order number 4 for the work necessary to address the off-site borrow area for the Cecil Township Public Works Facility, our early site contract project in the amount of $40,440.25 to Stewart Contracting. Dan, would you just make a quick explanation of where it's going?
Yeah, this is for the area. There was pyretic material. We didn't know how much would be encountered on the site. They had to go and borrow some clay, some offsite clay, to seal off the trenches around the foundations and the slab on grade and utilities. So this is the area that they went and did this. They had to do some additional work outside the boundaries of the E&S control plan to find the right material. So what they did was they actually did all the E&S controls, then they came back and they brought topsoil in and sort of closed out the area and seeded the entire area. So we've reviewed it. It was included in the budget items that we presented to you before related to project closeout of the project. So it's been accounted for in terms of dollars.
I remember. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Carol, let the record show 4-1. The motion carries. For number 37-2024, consider change order number 1 for additional general construction for the Cecil Township Public Works Facility in an amount of $32,932.07 to Yule Construction. And Dan, please fill us in.
Sure. So for this one, there's 2 items that are going to Yule. The first is to install plywood in addition to the FDR that was specified on the project to improve the walls, which might be coming under some durability issues in the building. The plywood was not included originally because we were trying to value engineer as much of the project as we could. So the contractor gave us a price of about $11,000 to do that work. In addition, this item and the next 2 include numbers related to the change order to install the fire pump room. When the project was originally bid, we made a change to the sprinkler system and the fire pump to value engineer and bring the cost significantly down on it. But it did require this additional construction related to adding the room. So that's included in 3724, 3824, and 3924 to pay all 3 of those contractors for the work associated with the fire pump.
So to Yule, the motion would be $32,932.07. Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved
Second.
and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 4-1, Carol, the motion carries. For number 38-2024, change order number 1 for the additional mechanical construction for the Cecil Township Public Works Facility in the amount of $539 to East West Manufacturing and Supply Company. He's part of the money that Dan just described. Is there a motion to approve that change order?
So moved.
It's been moved. I'll
Second.
second that. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-1, the motion carries. For item number 39-2024, it's considering a change order number 2 for additional electrical construction for the Cecil Township Public Works Facility in the amount of $23,743.93 to S.C. Schultz Electric as part of that money that Dan just described. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved
Second.
and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed?
Opposed?
Carol, this motion carries 4-1. For item number 40-2024, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Can I ask a question? So before we get into the next 2 agenda items, aren't we missing the equipment that goes inside the Public Works building?
Are you ready to put anything on the agenda yet, Dan?
I believe Bill and Dawn were handling the equipment, and it's plan to put it on next month. I mean, I think that's the idea, right, Dawn?
Okay.
But how do we decide on using additional funds to do the exterior paving and improvements to Klinger Road until we've decided on what actually goes in to finish the building?
I thought we had that numbers, don't we, Dan?
It's all included in the it was included in the cost presented. I just don't have the specifics on that.
I know. I'm the one that presented it last month, but my concern is, like, if we're committing to something on 40 and 41, like, I think we need to finish what goes inside the building before we're, like, I guess I'm just not understanding why it wasn't included in this agenda, if it was ready to go. Because last time I talked to Bill, it was ready to go, right?
You just said it was ready for next month.
It just wasn't added to the agenda.
Okay, next month you have it ready?
It's ready to go. It's been ready for the past.
Okay, so you have it from next month, okay. All right, item number 40-2024 for authorizing the township engineer to solicit bids for the remaining paving at the Public Works facility. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
It's been moved. I'll second that. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Sounds like it carried 4-1. For item number 41-2024, consider authorizing the township engineer to solicit for improvements to Klinger Road at the Public Works facility. Dan, please describe that work.
The work related to the salt.
Make sure you're talking to the microphone.
Oh, Klinger Road?
Yes.
I'm sorry. On Klinger Road, we're making improvements to a portion of Klinger Road to improve the vertical and the horizontal sight distance. I think I showed the plan to the board last month. The approximate cost of that, just from the top of my head, is approximately $275,000 to move the dirt and actually repave the road in that portion of the road. So again, the reason that I put the paving numbers on there is it's always good to get out early with the paving costs. So that was the reason for getting action on those items here tonight. So it'd be my recommendation to get this one out the bid also while contractors are hungry. I don't know how hungry they are. I get reports every day that they're all filled up with work already. So again, I think time is of the essence to get them out to bid. So I think we're pretty much ready to go. We know what the plan is. It's just a matter of getting it out on the street. And we also know what to do with the paving. So that's the explanation.
All right. So is there a motion to approve?
So is this, excuse me, so is this just to improve the Klinger Road so that it's better sight distance and everything coming around that, over that hill and around the bend and everything?
That's correct, Arlene.
Okay.
Sounds like you're interested, Darlene.
Yes, I'm interested in making Klinger Road very, very safe.
Okay, says we have a motion to approve that soliciting bids for Klinger Road.
So moved.
It's moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carol, the motion passes. For number 42-2024, consider authorizing the township engineer and the public works director to begin design and solicit for proposals for the construction of the salt storage structure at the public works facility, which will be funded by the local share account grant. Dan, and the grant was for the full amount we anticipated.
That's correct. And Bill's already done a lot of background work on this. There's not going to be a lot of work on the engineer's part, other than just helping site the building and determine some elevations up there. But it looks like we're going to be able to purchase a big part of this on the state contract. So that's a good thing, and there'll be enough money there that we can either pay for Public Works to do it, or ask Stuart to help us out on some of the stuff and possibly do as a change order. But Bill and I wanted authorization from the board first, and then would come back to you with the proposal next month on how all that's going to happen and get any approvals necessary.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Work to be solicited. It's been moved.
Second.
And seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. For number 43-2024, it's consider rescinding the permit parking ordinance for Wildwood Drive.
I'll make a motion.
Anybody want to talk of that, or just, you have a motion on the floor already? It's already been moved. You seconded?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The motion carries. For number 44-2024, to approve the minutes for the Monday, December 4th, 2023, Township Board of Supervisors regular monthly meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. For number 45-2024, consider the general fund invoices from December 1st through to December 31st, 2023.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. At this time, if any residents have any comments or questions, you're free to come up to the microphone, but please come up and state your name so everybody can hear you. Any comments or general issues? Board members, you have anything else? Motion to adjourn, will you?
Wait,
do roll
Tom,
call?
hold on.
Yes.
Are we still looking into that sign, replacing the sign outside the building?
Yeah, we'll try to get proposals in front of the board for February, Frank.
Okay.
Nothing else. Carol, make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Carol, roll call vote.
Supervisor Dizio,
Aye.
Supervisor Barney,
Is it me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Supervisor
Yes,
Fisher,
adjourned.
Yes.
Supervisor Schifoni,
Aye.
Supervisor Cassiola.
Aye. The meeting is adjourned. I have an issue with administrative things, how it ties that. Administrative, to me, they're not actions with the board.
Yeah, I'll make a note. I'll send myself a note right now.
How you define administrative.
Sorry,
So
my head's spinning.
Here he was saying, well, we're just gonna get started with applying for the permits.
Because it takes months.
heard
It takes months.
I knew
apologize.
I knew that,
Cost anything, 'cause that's a big thing if it's.
Right.
I knew that Dave,